If you're an HVAC technician and a call comes in, Grainger knows that you need a partner that helps you find the right product, fast and hassle-free. And you know that when the first problem of the day is a clanking blower motor, there's no need to break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product details, you're confident you'll soon have everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.
Trojan family, what's going on? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud. Thank you, as always, for making this a part of your day. I put out there, I think on Monday, maybe Tuesday, I tweeted out we were at like 6,870 subscriptions. And I was like, hey, can we get to 7,000 by Christmas? That was a pretty good goal. 2 weeks away. I thought we could do it. We're seeing awesome growth. We are, as of this recording, we are 7 subs away from 7,000. And I just want to express my gratitude. I've been doing this channel. We've been doing, all of us here, Tim, Madman. I can go down the list of other guys. Will with UCLA, Ryan with the Rams. We have an awesome team here. I'm so appreciative. But we've been stacking this for years, trying to build this up and slowly seeing our hard work start to kind of pay off. And these last 2 months have been incredible. I mean, I've really dove in head first of okay, I'm fully going all in on USC, which I have been for a while, but I'm dedicating to this channel. We're getting out as much videos and content for you guys as possible. And you guys have embraced it. So I just want to say I'm appreciative. I love doing this. We're 7 away from 7,000. So, hey, you can be that one that gets us over. If you're not subbed yet, hit that subscription. That helps us continue growing and keep this thing rolling. And let's get to 8,000. Let's get to 10,000 by, I don't know, by the end of the recruiting cycle next year or something. So we'll get there. But anyway, appreciate you. Today, got a couple videos coming out. This one specifically, I said we're going to do a lot of these just because the transfer portal is going to be changing so frequently with names that keep getting entered, and obviously guys from USC that are entering. I did one yesterday about Harry Dalton. You can check that out. But I want to talk today just about 3 new, or not really new, but 3 linebackers that intrigue me the most as of right now, December 12th. Because again, I think we'll see a couple from these playoff teams. Maybe we'll get a big name backer get in there. And I've said many times, USC, we might see a decent amount of players go just because of the numbers game, but they're probably only going to add 10 to 15 in that range of adding players to the roster. And I fully believe 80 to 85% of those are going to be guys that they believe can compete for starting jobs. Doesn't mean they're guaranteed to win it. I mean, there's guys here that want to start that are going to be staying here, specifically at backer. Whatever fans think, like Desmond Stevens, Jaden Walker, they want to be your 2 lead backers going into the next year. Elijah Newby's still working his tail off. Tamir Robinson, who transferred from Penn State last year, we've seen him grow in the system. Obviously, you got these freshmen coming in. So just because an impact player transfers in with the opportunity to start doesn't mean they're guaranteed to win it. And if they don't win it, that doesn't necessarily mean they were a bust addition, because we don't see all that goes on behind the scenes at practice. Like Lincoln Riley has said many times, there's been guys that they've named captains for week because fans might not know what they mean to the team in the facility on the practice field, but they have a huge impact on what they do on those instances and in getting the starters ready. So anyway, I said all that. Linebacker is a position I believe they will add someone that they expect to come in and compete to start. Again, I think they're still really high on Stevens and Walker and all the guys I mentioned. But that is definitely a position with, Eric Gentry heading to the NFL draft, and a position that just needs to improve overall, whether it's from the guys here or someone else, that it has to be better, right? I think we saw moments of improvement, but overall it has to get better. So 3 names. And again, I think we'll see bigger names come out. So I don't want everyone to freak out that, that's what we're looking for now. Now, if a blue chip like freshman enters, which I think there's like a pretty highly rated 4-star from Clemson that entered. There was a 4-star from Arkansas that entered, both true freshmen. Like, I could see USC kicking the tires on like a guy like that they could see come in and compete and grow within the system. To me, though, specifically at linebacker, you're looking at an upperclassman that has 1, maybe 2 years of eligibility left, that can come in, kind of take control of the room from a leadership perspective, has been there, done that, has production, and can help lead these guys and these young guys who will be taking over for the future. So I don't see them, I'm not guaranteeing they won't, but in my opinion, I don't see them adding a younger linebacker. I think they're really excited about the youth they have in the room. You might just need one guy who has production that can come in and lead and compete. So that's the list I have here. And let's start with, and one of these guys I've already talked about. So I have 3 guys here. One I've already talked about. And I'll just start with him, I guess. So Derek McDonald out of Syracuse. According to his social post, he will be getting a medical red shirt for a 6th year of eligibility. And so I know there's concern on that. USC, as I said when I talked about him previously, will have to do their due diligence and make sure that is 100% cleared, that he is good to go. We do not need another DJ Wingfield situation. So as long as he is cleared, and if anyone's worried about the injury, it was one that he played, it was lingering, and then him and Coach Fran Brown decided to surgically get, it was like I think a hip injury, to surgically repair, just to better his future and chance of playing down the line instead of delaying the surgery. So it wasn't like some catastrophic thing that you don't come back from. It was more of a procedure that took place that then bettered him for the future. So I wouldn't be concerned. I mean, we got to see these guys back out there and feeling fully healthy, but I wouldn't be concerned about his health as long as he gets clearance of eligibility. But 6'4", 230, was a leader on that Syracuse defense for 5 seasons, and, comes from a good coaching lineage. When you look at Coach Fran Brown, Coach Babers before that, good production, in 24, 51 total tackles, 1 forced fumble, can play at kind of the edge that, Will or Sam Backer, but I think has the size and ability to play Mike. Not necessarily don't think that's where he'll fit, but has that ability if needed. But I think just, the age there, the leadership, and the production that he has shown. I mean, all 3 seasons where he was a starter, 41 tackles, 63 tackles, 51 tackles. So has done something in the league, not coming in to develop, basically coming in for a final year to put out tape to hopefully go to the NFL. I think that's what they're kind of looking for in this role of adding a backer. So Derek McDonald, let me know you guys. I know I've seen a couple comments when I talked about him before about just the concern from the medicals. But if he is cleared from the medical standpoint and also from the eligibility standpoint, I would say he would be a really good get. Just first that size, 6'4", 230. That's what they're looking for in that room, 230 plus. And then also having production and doing it for a program that is, obviously had a down year this year. Maybe that's because he wasn't playing because he was hurt. But I think Syracuse has pumped out some decent players. Obviously, there's some connection there with Jayonre Reed, who came from Syracuse to USC. So maybe there's some communication there between 2 former teammates. So one to keep an eye on there. Secondly, I don't know how this guy got more eligibility, but Darius Snow, it was confirmed from Michigan State. He's played for Michigan State, so he hasn't transferred at all. He's been there his whole career since 2020. And according to Pete Nakos, he has been granted an NCAA waiver for another year of eligibility for his 7th season. And that's intriguing to me. You can bring in a guy that's been in the league for 6 years, has eligibility, played in the Big Ten his entire career. He actually came into Michigan State as like a hybrid safety box backer and then fully transitioned to backer later in his career. But as a sophomore in 21, had an 81 tackle season, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, looked like to be one of the premier defensive players in the Big Ten, suffered a brutal lower leg or lower body injury in 2022 in the first game of the season that really took a long time to recover. Obviously missed the whole 2022, missed most of 2023 before coming back, and then 24 and 25 was able to, get back onto the field and finish this past season for a very not very good Michigan State team with 34 total tackles, had a sack, 17 solo tackles. So, intriguing name. 6'1", 230 pounds. See the theme there. I'm sticking with that theme. I think they're looking for 200, 225 and up guys to play backer here in the Big Ten. But again, a guy that's just been in college football for a long time. And I think that's what you need, is that kind of that presence in this room with all these young guys. I mean, even Dez and Walker and Newby, I mean, they're still going to be true juniors, and this was their first year really having a lot of reps. So there's still some youth and growing there. So Darius Snow, a guy beloved on Michigan State's campus. Everything I've read and heard is he was just, beloved by that team, by that program, recruited by Mark D'Antonio before he retired, stuck around through the Mel Tucker and then now Jonathan Smith. So he's seen his fair share of turmoil. And so if he can come into USC where there's some stability, there's some excitement with the program, there's some growth towards the future. He knows the Big Ten obviously well, playing in it for 6 years. Keep an eye out for Darius Snow. Not saying the guy's like All-American, but could be a valuable addition that could either give you valuable reps or at least be a valuable leader within that room.
Drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that'll change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
And lastly, and this is, group of five guy that I know fans don't love to hear, because when you're only taking 10 to 15 high impact portal players, everyone expects you to get, 5-star guys from the SEC and the Big Ten. Well, those don't just grow on trees in the portal. Remember what I always say, there's going to be a couple of those. There's a couple high-end blue chip guys that are either unhappy where they are, or the position's just so deep, or they're unhappy with their NIL situation that they do enter. There is a couple of those. We see them, the Walter Nolans of the past, the Derek Harmons of the past. They do happen, but there's not a ton of them. And so the portal is a lot more of, hey, guys looking for one last shot with a final year or two of eligibility and just looking for a fresh start, one last opportunity to play for a good program, but also put on tape for the NFL. You're seeing young guys that, hey, it just wasn't a fit right off the bat. So, hey, let me just start right off the bat, which obviously we've seen with USC with some freshmen and redshirt freshmen entering, and that happens with other teams too. And then lastly, there's the group of 5 lower level guys that got developed at those lower schools and are now looking to go to a premier program. I believe, sorry if I'm getting long-winded here before naming this last guy, but I believe the future of kind of college football, and it will never be official, but I do think there's a world where the G5 and the lowers, or eventually it's going to be G6 or whatever, but the lower levels underneath Power 4 are more for development. And obviously, everyone will, I'm not saying recruiting is going away. You're obviously still going to recruit, but we'll see. USC needed their baseline 35-player class, but we'll start seeing probably a lot more of these smaller incoming classes and then go get some guys that were developed at the other levels of college football that can come in and impact right away while you're developing your own talent. That's kind of how it is anyway, in a sense, but I think we'll see it a lot more, and I think we'll see a lot more big programs not shy away from these lower tier programs. I think it was Nevada's head coach. I don't know his name offhand, but I saw an interview with him recently where he said literally just that. He's like, yeah, we want guys coming to Nevada that want to compete, want to develop, and we will develop you so then you can go get the bag at a Power 4 school. Like, he said that straight up. Like, we don't need, obviously he wants kids to stay all the way through, but like, he's okay with guys coming to his program to get developed and then go on to the premier programs, get paid, and compete for national championships. So that's kind of the world we live in. So I give that backstory, just like, you don't want to see going and getting 15 guys from Group of 5. But there are some that have enough production that are make it worth it. And so Gideon ESPN Lamprin, his middle name is ESPN. So I saw someone that his dad like snuck in while his wife was still recovering, snuck in and wrote on the birth certificate for his middle name. But Gideon Lamprin, senior from Bowling Green. So again, older guy, going to have 1 year left of eligibility, can come to SC, put it on tape, show out. 6 foot 220. So fits the build we're looking for. Obviously, I think 230 plus is a little bit more what they're wanting, but I think 220. But last year at Bowling Green, 119 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. So I know it's a lower tier league, but it's not like he had 40 tackles. 119 tackles is a lot of production. Now, I haven't grinded through all the tape and seeing his gap integrity and all that stuff yet. But on paper, that's a guy that you should make a phone call to and see if the fit is there and see if he's a guy that can come in and compete with who's on your roster and either push them to be better or be one of your starting backers heading into 2026. So, Gideon Lamprin, probably my number 1 right now, with Derek McDonald next and then Darius Snow. I didn't talk about Kamari House because I talked about him on a previous show. I think he's a little undersized for what USC is looking for. Obviously, the ties with being from St. John Bosco, being a high recruit. I mean, he's probably the highest rated linebacker in the portal. And they might go after him. I'm not saying they're not. But to me, he's just a little undersized for what they're looking for based on who they've already kind of moved on from. So these 3 guys fit the size build and fit the production build of what they've done throughout their collegiate careers already. So I'll be back with plenty more. Like I said, this list is going to change constantly. And especially once these bowl games start happening and the playoff game starts happening, and we get closer to that January 2nd day, we'll see bigger names probably start to enter. But this is a good starting point when you're looking at linebacker position. So let me know your thoughts. Drop your comments below. If you like any of these 3, if you hate them and think I'm an idiot, you can let me know as well. I'll still appreciate the comment and the engagement. So I'll be back a little later with some recruiting updates, plus more all weekend long. Appreciate you, family. And as always, fight on. Hey, Trojan family, thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers, they've got live stat updates, they've got a chat you can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose J.D. Maiava in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10. So now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free. Go make a deposit. Use USC LAFB. And now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family. And when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.